Nappy Dreamer.
And I'm Kia Blaine.
And we are
the Melanin Mindset.
What's good, everybody, and welcome if it's your first time viewing. Welcome back if you're returning. I'm the Nappy Dreamer, and you're on mute, and we are the Melanin Mindset. Friend, come off mute, Come off mute.
Could have did it for me.
All right, so you want to try that again?
No.
It's all right. Listen, if you're viewing us on YouTube, which is literally the only place this episode is streaming, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on those notification bells, and give this video a thumbs up. You'll be among the first to know when the Melanin Mindset goes live. Y'all give it up one time. Make sure you plug in with us on Facebook, the Melanin Mindset, Instagram, and X at Melanin Mindset _, and out on TikTok, the Melanin Mindset. So again, you'll know all the things that we have going on and see a little fun side of the Melanin Mindset. So friend, that's my part. You gonna do that thing you do.
So welcome, guys. This is an exciting episode with all the drama and everything going on about what's appropriate for a first date. We have gathered some lovely guests together to bring some perspective into the life of the single woman. And we will have another counterpart where we're going to talk to single men. But right now, it's ladies' night. So, you know how we like to start around here with a good old definition. So I got two for you. For the sake of this, we kind of talked to our guests. And for the sake of this, single is non-married. Just means that you haven't said I do. So this is what we are considering single. And also we are looking for standards. What are the standards that single people have nowadays? Standard is an idea or thing used to measure, norm, or model comparative evaluations. So without further ado, we will start introducing our guests, and let's see what these single standards are.
Y'all, let's go ahead and bring in some of these ladies. So the first one up that we have on our list is going to be Keshonda. So we're going to bring Keshonda on in. Say, hey, girl.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
Then
Thanks for having me.
We're so happy to have you representing for the 30s, y'all. We have Ketty coming in. Say, hey, girl.
Hi, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Also representing for the 30s age group, we have Trinika coming in for the 40s. Say, hey, girl.
Hey, sweetie.
And then we have up next on the list is the 20s, y'all. We got Lajea coming in. Say, hey, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And last but definitely not least, we got the 60s represented today in the form of Fur Bush. So, Fur Bush, go ahead and say hey to the people.
Hello. Hey.
Like Kia said, we are so happy to have you. Like Kia said, we are so happy to have you all in tonight. We're just going to simply facilitate a conversation with y'all. Listen, comment down below if you have questions for these singles, and we'll be sure we get you an answer. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, friend, you want to kick them off with the first on the list here?
So I don't know how we're gonna do this. Am I gonna do the teacher thing where I just pick on somebody and be like, this question is for you, and then we let them, or we're just gonna see who want to answer first?
We're just gonna let them go for it.
We're just gonna do a simple introduction. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what it's been like for you on the dating scene, in the world of dating. Anybody want to go first? Okay, we'll go with Ketty.
I knew that was coming. Well, my name is Kitty. I am a licensed real estate agent here in Florida, and the dating scene has been dry. But honestly, I don't really put myself out there like that to begin with. If I'm going to be 100% honest with you, I have really been just trying to focus on my career and my children. And based off what I've seen in the field going on now with dating, it's real hood, and I'm not about that. I'll wait. Jesus will send the right one. I'll wait.
Okay. All right. What about you, Miss Trinika?
I feel like nowadays nobody has standards. And that's both ways, men and women. And with that being said, that if we don't set standards, we don't know what we're looking for. So I will say that for myself, I'm all up in everywhere. Like I want a good man, but I don't know how to necessarily meet someone and say, okay, this is what I won't go past or go up under. So that's what I would say has been my biggest challenge. I haven't set the standard for what I just dating. So I just feel like that's my biggest hiccup.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay. All right. Well, Kishonda.
I think you got
Honestly, for me, the dating scene
best
has
friends.
been fun. It's been fun. I am a divorcee, so you know, and I'm coming up on 5 years with that. So the
Okay.
first couple of years, 2, 3 years, I kind of removed myself from the dating scene for obvious reasons to revamp my life, figure out, adjust. I have children, so I wasn't focused on so much dating. But I'd say within the last maybe year and a half to 2 years, I've been having fun,
Okay.
not too much myself or anyone. Of course, it's been met with its challenges because this is a very interesting tribe out there, but it's been kind of
Yeah.
fun for me.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. Lajaya.
Um, I don't know. I would say I haven't really seriously dated. I feel like I'm still pretty young, and a lot of the dating that I've done, I wouldn't say was a date now at the age that I am now.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like I just graduated college, I just started a new job. So I am kind of ready to start dating or looking into that part of life, but I just haven't yet.
Okay. And last but not least, Tawana.
Well, I don't know what the rules are anymore for dating. I haven't
All right.
seriously gone on a date in a while, and always caught up in work. Work. I've been a workaholic for years, and I enjoy my work. And dating at this time in my life, I have comfort in coming home and or going out, and I will go eat by myself at, or I meet with some friends, or I have a little bit of a social life, but a dating life I have. And I'm gonna get back to what Ketta was bringing up, Jesus, because I asked Jesus, I said, how come you ain't got no hairy knuckles knocking down my door? Because I haven't seen anything. But the answer that I got back from there is that you ain't ready. So
Okay.
I'm very comfortable in my own skin, and I'm very comfortable with my own company.
Okay.
Mm. So, friend,
Mm-hmm.
I
Through
want
my
to.
travel, if by any chance through my travels that I am approached by a gentleman and it happens, okay, I'm open.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to dress up and go out to go find it. I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Call
Just
me
not in
lazy
that
if you
phase of
will.
life.
I'm just
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
not gonna I'm not gonna get it. If I like I said, if a gentleman come across in my travels, and a lot of times in my travels, I might not have on makeup or whatever the case might be, but at least you get more of the real deal then than if I dress up and
Right.
leave
Yeah,
out and
absolutely.
and try
Right.
to
Right.
She
go
said no
somewhere and
false
scout for
advertisement.
somebody.
Yeah.
So, friend, based on those answers, Kishonda, I'm coming to you with a question. Okay. So, in a relationship,
Okay.
do you have expectations? Like, do you believe that there's a mental or physical list of expectations for a potential partner? And if so, give me a few of the things that's on your list.
Well, realistically, we all have our wants and our must-haves and our non-negotiables. However, I'm very relaxed in my approach initially. I don't really set high expectations. I don't believe in running down my list of expectations either when I first meet a gentleman, because then you get the person's they'll do what they think you want. So I just let you be you. We have conversation, we dialogue, and if I see you're checking boxes, there might be a second date or a third date, and we'll just go from there. And then as we get to know each other, we can soften up and have those conversations where we're saying, well, I like this or I like that. But first date, second dates, off rip, I'm not gonna say, well, I want a man to do, because then you're gonna get the representative, because they're gonna do all that
Yeah.
in the beginning and woo you potentially, and then when you head over heels, you get the real deal, and you like, wait a minute, where was
That
this dude
part.
that was doing all this?
Right.
Yeah, no.
So
So,
you
but
have
of course,
you have a
for
mental
me,
list.
hmm
Oh,
right,
I
and
got a
I just
physical.
basically trust that.
Go ahead,
No, yes, I
Cassandra.
have a physical. It's mental. I'm not telling you, but yes, I have a journal that I wants, and
Okay.
I don't pray for a husband every day. No, but I do in
Mm-hmm.
my journal with my prayers and things like that. I do. These are the things that because I'm a believer in first off and foremost. So that's how I look at things from that aspect. So yeah, I have my mental list and but I'm not gonna sit down at anybody's table and say, "Oh, I'm looking for a man to do." We're not doing that. Been there, done that.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those things you learn from your mistakes with. So no, we don't. To answer your question, the things that you look for first is respect. And when I say respect, I'm looking at the way you
Absolutely.
respect yourself first,
Mm.
because how you treat you determines is going to set the standard for how you treat me. So it's the respect for yourself first. Do you take pride in your appearance, your hygiene?
Mm.
Are you, health
Say it again
conscious
for
to
the
a
people in
certain
the back.
degree?
That part.
Because things like that, I mean, I cannot have no expectation for you to do anything for me if you don't have a primary care doctor, a dentist, life
Okay.
insurance, the basics. So I'm just looking at we ain't even talk about a house or the car and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the basic stuff. You value you,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
because that's gonna set the standard for how you treat me anyway. So that's my first. I don't want to do too much talking because I could go all night, but
Mm-hmm.
just to start out,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Oh,
Anybody else want to make a comment to that? What do you have on your
I agree with
mental on
everything
your
she
list?
said. That's my comment.
Say it again.
I said I agree with everything she just said. That is my comment.
Okay.
I can
anybody
comment
voted?
on that.
There we go.
I feel like as as the 20s representing the 20s, I feel like that's something that I'm learning now. That, when you're meeting someone, like you don't just go up and give them your expectations or have expectations for a person. I feel like I've learned that along the way. Like each person, I'm like, okay, I learned that I'm not going to do that no more. And then that kind of has been building not my expectations, but standards and boundaries, just things that I know that I'm not looking for in a person or I won't deal with. But yeah, I agree with what you said, but I agree with what you said now at 25. I feel like at 20, I'd be like, no, I don't want to talk to you because you're not this, and this. But
Mm.
Do
it's
you
right.
different
find
now.
that that's something common in your age group with dating? Like they're automatically running off the list? Because I just feel like when I look at social media, I'm like, who sat down and said that it was okay to say this stuff out loud?
Right.
Yeah,
Or that you can't go to Applebee's on your first date. Like I don't
Yeah.
I don't
yeah,
personally enjoy Applebee's. I think their food is nasty. And you
I
can hate
agree.
it if you must. That's the only reason you're not taking me to Applebee's, because I think their food is nasty.
Man,
But
that quesadilla burger be
Right.
busting.
mm-mm.
I definitely think it's a thing of like what we see. And I feel like a lot of my generation, like even like the thing with the Cheesecake Factory and things like that, like those expectations I feel like have been set because that's what we saw on social media and be like, oh, well, she said she doesn't go to the Cheesecake Factory, so now I'm not going to either.
Ooh.
Or I see that a lot of people don't, they only want a guy that's over 6 foot. So I also believe in that. But do you actually? I feel like it's a lot of things like that. Like we just see it on social media, and now that's the expectation that we think we deserve or need, but it's not coming from the heart or what you actually, have grown up wanting or what you desire, kind of thing.
Oh wow. So you feel like social media kind of influences your age group in a major way when it comes to those
Yeah, just
decisions.
kind of social influence in general, social media, your friend groups, just things like that. Like other people influence those kind of things that you think you want. is what I'd say.
So, to the other age groups, do you feel like social media has an impact? We heard from 30s and 20s. I want to hear from the 40s and 60s. Do you feel like social media or social influence impacts how you go about dating nowadays?
Um,
Go ahead, 40.
yes, I think so in a little bit because I notice, and I have some cousins that are in my same age group. I'm not per se a social media junkie, but I see they do because I think it's acceptable to post everything about anything nowadays. So if it's such a thing as having like a social media ideal of a relationship, everyone is like posting all of their happy pictures, or this is the date that they went on. So now everybody, it's like a competition to post it. And so when others are seeing it, they're only seeing the bright side of it, not the thing like, hey, we just had a fight and he took me here to make up for whatever was done, or vice versa. It could be the
Yeah.
girl's fault too. But I do
Yeah.
think it influences if because it's just everywhere nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Hmm.
I don't think the
Yeah.
social media is affecting it, in the 60s, and I'll be 70 next year. So it's and I'm on social media. I get it. But I don't find a lot of influence from my age group on it. And they won't show what's happening with them, but a lot of people in my age group are not even dealing with social media when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Okay. They
Mm-hmm.
white knuckling technology, and which I think is they should get on it, but not everybody is. That's in my age group. So the ones that I see on there that are showing things, they're not really showing much of an influence. They might be showing a little bit about what's going on with them, but it's not really an influence else in particular. And I don't think my age group is being influenced by it. They might enjoy seeing it, but I don't think they're
Yeah.
being influenced by it. I don't.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I guess we'll move on to the next question.
Mm.
Um, I was getting ready to say something else, but I'll just go to the next question. It'll come back to me. What are some just absolute deal breakers for you and a partner? And you could be like all deep and spiritual, but are there any like kind of
Superficial
shallow
ones.
breakers too? Like his hairline can't be receding. Like, is there any like shallow deal breakers too?
I
Well,
need to
a
see
deal
how this
breaker
changes.
Oh, a deal breaker would be for me, you can't, and men always back in the days have checked how many kids women have. You can't
Mm,
have a bunch of different kids from a bunch of different women's one, and then the next one 2 years, and then maybe the next one 2 years and 6 months. You just can't have that for me. That's a deal breaker for me
Mm.
because
I agree.
if you're having that man and you've not established, and as if I do, based on my age, I'm not going to get someone that doesn't have kids. How you treat, and if you say, hey, I got to do this for my kids, and that is not present, because I'm a mom first of all, so
mm,
I can't meet somebody that's not present in their child's life. That is an absolute deal breaker. Ain't nothing I can even do with you, period.
Mm. Well, I don't think that's superficial. I think that's legit. If he ain't there
but
for
it's
his
an
kids,
indicator of immaturity and probably a whole lot of other issues.
yeah.
Right.
Mm. Ketty, let us know some of your deal breakers,
Well,
girl.
it says a lot about a guy's character if he's sleeping around and have a whole bunch of kids by different mamas. It
Mm.
says something about his
That's right.
character.
Absolutely.
That's right.
That is a deal breaker. Yeah.
I think that also shows irresponsibility. For me, I was with somebody for 10, almost 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
And majority of that I stayed because of comfort. But for me, it's really, really big that you're not just a believer in Christ, but that your actions show it. So a lot of people say, oh, yeah, I'm a Christian, I'm a Christian, I'm a Christian. And going biblical standards, it does not add
Mm-hmm.
up. And I know nobody's perfect. You're never going to be perfect, but the goal is to strive to do better. So I always come from a biblical standpoint. And if you can't, like, just little minor things here that he would say. So for me, I'm like, that's a deal breaker because you ain't going to be disrespecting God because you lucky he ain't strike you down.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So
That's
spiritual
not gonna
obedience.
work for me, because if we have kids, I'm gonna raise my kids based off exactly what the good Lord says, and I don't want that to be an issue. Also, too, you got to be taller than me. I'm sorry, I'm 5'4"
There
and
we
a
go,
half.
superficial.
No, listen though. I'm 5'4" and a half. You don't gotta be 6 foot, but you better be taller than me. If you're shorter than me, it's an absolute no. I'm sorry. It's not to be mean. I'm so serious. It's not to be mean, but I feel like you're like, you would be
Ketty,
like
I'm
my
short too,
child.
girl. I'm short too.
But what if
Yeah,
your
so you
Boaz,
understand. You
your
don't gotta
Boaz
be
might be
6 foot.
5'3"?
You don't gotta be 6 foot, but you better be taller than me. I can't be looking down to talk to you. Absolutely not. That is not
You
what my
just
father
get him
said.
some platform shoes.
Oh
Absolutely
man.
not. And I totally
Jaya?
agree with what was said about the if you got a bunch of kids, listen, I'm a mom of 2 kids. No, 3 kids. I lied because I got twins. I
I
got
was
two
about
for
to
the
say,
price of
did you,
one. I
did
got
you
two for
get
the
rid
price
of
of one. Okay, I got twins. I'm sorry. I'm a mom with 3 kids, but
Don't be
2
counting
kids'
those
fathers.
twins as
One
one.
passed away. May he rest in peace. But you can't be around just slanging peachny everywhere, and you ain't taking care of your kids. That's not gonna work. That is irresponsible, and that is not a very good look.
She said slinging your what?
Peachny. It's in Creole. You can't be slinging peachny around everywhere. Absolutely not. That's community penis.
Well, I'm
No
gonna
way.
tell you, Katie. Now, getting back to you, now dealing with somebody a little bit shorter than you ain't no bad deal. I had a guy one time. I mean, wasn't no bad deal.
Say it
Now
again.
I'm
I didn't hear
telling
you.
you.
Say
So
it again.
don't block it out.
Say it again.
Don't block it
Say it
out.
again. I couldn't hear you.
She said, don't knock it till you try it.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, everybody that's shorter than you, don't knock
It's
it.
a no for me, dog. I can't.
Okay.
I cannot.
Don't worry, Ketty. Live a little longer. I bet your perspective will
Oh,
change.
well, I have my list I asked God for, and I told him according to what you want and according to what I would like, but submit it to what you want. So,
Oh, Lajea.
I've been thinking for a long time. I don't know. But the one thing that like keeps popping into my head is like somebody that worries about me or worries about me more than they worry about themselves in a way. Like you just all up in my business constantly, worried about what I'm doing. Not, I'm trying to think about it in a, like explain it in a better way. Like, I don't know. For me, it was going to school. I feel like a lot of the guys that I dated or talked to were like, oh, like, you don't need to go to college anymore. Like I was going to school for school counseling and they were like, why would you want to do that? And I'm like, okay, but how is Domino's going for you? You know, that kind of thing. That kind of thing. That kind of thing I think is a deal breaker for me.
I
Yeah.
can't with y'all
So you
answers,
said
man.
being more concerned with what you're doing than like they
Yeah.
need to
And
have
just
more
in terms of
concern
like
about.
bettering yourself and things like that. Like, you know,
Right.
just taking care of yourself, those kind of things. Yeah. I feel like that annoys me personally.
Understood.
Smokers is a deal breaker for me. A smoker.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't deal
What
with
kind of
smokers.
smoke? What kind of smoke?
Well, okay, all right.
Clarify.
Well, let me hit the medical end first. I have bronchitis in both my lungs, so even I had to stop smoking. All right,
Okay.
anything and
Okay.
everything. I had to stop smoking, so I don't. And smoking around me is something it would be a deal breaker for me. It'd be not to mention if you stink. Okay, that'd be a deal breaker too.
Oh yeah, you can't stink. Don't be smoking and
Right.
stink.
Okay, all right.
So the next thing I do want to bring up is that whole first date scenario. We mentioned the list of places. Now, last episode we did run down that list. So y'all, if you haven't seen that episode, go and watch the playback. Okay. But we did run down the full list of the no-nos. Okay. So on a first date, can you describe, and we're gonna hit a round table again. So can you describe what your ideal, not saying that they have to do this. We get that it's figurative. Your ideal first date, like for a guy to take you somewhere, or your preference, it's your business. You know, your first
To a
date.
cafe for a nice cup of coffee and some intellectual conversation.
Mm.
Yes.
Okay, that's short and sweet. Let's keep it going.
Um, I would agree. Something low key, not too much pressure. I'm good with that for a first date. I don't have the high expectations. We're getting to know each other. Um and see, for me, I like the casual first dates because I have a personal rule. I do not wear any makeup on first dates.
Mm.
That's a I
Okay.
don't I believe in being me because I don't want to start high and then, I'm gonna start low and work my way up. I
Hmm.
don't create expectations. So I prefer something that's low key, fun, maybe a cafe, a park. I mean, it doesn't have to be the Cheesecake Factory because I would probably rather not just go to a restaurant for a first date anyway. Just something
Yeah.
just real
Now, are
chill
you
and casual.
are you shy to eat in front of your date?
No, I'll go to like a bar or a sports something. No, not at all. It's just I just want it to be relaxed so we don't. There's no pressure. When you fine dine, you have to be refined in those settings also. So
Absolutely.
you may not be as relaxed, so to speak, because you're trying to make sure you eat properly and handle your business as far as being in a certain type of setting. So, something low key where it gives a little bit more grace. I just feel like, and I'm just a realist because I did state in the beginning that I've kind of been having a little fun with dating. So if I'm dating and maybe the gentleman may be dating too, you don't know me to spend $100 on me off rip. I mean,
Mm.
realistically speaking,
Can I
this
give it?
guy
Can
may
I
be
give it up for
dating.
her? I need to give it up for you on that
Please,
one.
'cause
Right there.
that's what I was saying. Because I clearly I haven't been off the dating scene for years now, and I just was
Ditto.
like, if my son tell me he about to take a girl out on a date, I'm not about to tell him spend your whole paycheck to impress her. Like,
Exactly.
go on,
I
take
Right.
her
feel the same
somewhere
way.
low key, get to know her. Make sure you put on deodorant because the girls don't like smells. But
Right.
I'm not about. I don't even know who would encourage a guy to be like, "Oh, you got to take her here," unless you have some type of ulterior motive.
Mm.
Right.
Super valid. I think
Right.
some of those
Well,
overextended requests are crazy.
Hmm.
Right.
the ulterior motive in this society more so is they want the outing rather than the person offering the outing. That's when it
Yeah,
comes off to
The
me
social
when
media
you
post.
don't really have
the social media
Right.
post.
anything to do on
Hmm.
a Saturday night. So you want to get dressed, get cute, take a bunch of pictures because that's what post your food and all that, just
Yeah,
so you can go back to your girlfriends and say, "Oh yeah, I went to wherever." So it's more so the focus on the outing rather than the person on the outing with. Because we all know, ladies, if you like that man, you will ride around the block with him. Y'all ain't got to be doing nothing. If you like that man, you
Right.
will just enjoy
yeah,
Absolutely.
his company. You
yeah.
don't care
Absolutely.
what
Girl,
y'all
you on
do
fire
all day.
today. Get up one more
Right.
time for Keyshawn and the solid
Listen,
responses.
Right.
Girl, that's facts. That's big facts. I've been off the dating scene for a little bit too, but the fact remains that I would have sat in the back seat of the car and had a conversation with my husband at the time we were dating, as opposed to going out anywhere. I think
Hmm.
I posted that my first date with my husband was literally to somebody else's wedding. And then we went and got Wendy's after. And there's a funny French fry story, but I'm not going to share that today. But But yeah, we went through the drive-through at Wendy's after the wedding, and it was cool with me because we were having such good conversation. We really didn't want to stop and do anything extra or anything like that. We literally were spending time together on that first date. It was dope.
Yeah.
It was
And I
quite
just
dope.
don't know. I kind of feel like people have gotten away from that. And, I blame social media for almost everything. Like
Literally.
just
Absolutely.
me
connecting
too.
and being able to communicate with each other.
Me too. And it's
Right.
funny, I
Right.
did watch the episode that caused the panel, and it made me ask my parents. Now, my parents have been married for 38 years,
Hmm.
and prior to these conversations, I never knew where their first date was. I knew that they met at church. So I'm
Okay.
saying, Mom, it's this thing going around the internet. Where did you and Daddy go for y'all first date? She said, a wedding.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
so I social media heavily influences, because when there was no internet, we was not minding people's business like this
Right,
about where they're
At
going
all.
right,
and where
Come
they're
on.
living
right.
and where they're eating.
Absolutely.
We were not minding people's business. So now we're in this content creating era where everything is aesthetically perfect and it looks so this and that. So it's putting this
Absolutely.
pressure on people to feel like they have to be doing everything so grand, or you're just not living a productive life. And
Right.
it's so unfortunate, because you miss out on quality people who have a lot of great things going for themselves, because you're so worried about them breaking the bank on you, and they don't even know you to be doing all that. Because realistically, if I like you and I care about you as a person, I want you to treat me the way that I would want to be treated. Why would you base getting to know amount of money I'm spending when I don't even know you yet? That just
Mm-hmm.
Girl,
the poor character on the women who set these expectations for men.
Right,
that's a
right.
whole big fact. Now listen, y'all, hold up. When we come back from break, I'm gonna be flipping the script a little bit because some of this be on the men too. Let's just be for real. But if you didn't
Right,
already know,
right.
we are brand ambassadors for the Anu, y'all. So hang with us for a few moments and we'll be right back. What's good, Mindset family? The Melanin Mindset is thrilled to announce we are the newest brand ambassadors for Dianu Apparel. Dianu Apparel is a black-owned apparel company that offers trendy African-inspired prints in each and every garment. They're offering our listeners 15% off their purchases just by using promo code Melanin Mindset. There's something for him, there's something for her, and there's even something for the kids. So head right over to dianu.com using the description link down below, or just simply enter Melanin Mindset at checkout and save today. Welcome back, though. All right, so thank y'all so much for hanging out with us so far. It has been a rousing conversation, would you not say, friend?
It has been.
So quite rousing, quite rousing. But you know, we're at that little segment that we do. We want to let you all know. First, friend, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go first. Y'all know my friend done wrote a whole daggone ebook. Okay, so don't sleep on my friend. She done wrote a whole ebook. Go ahead, friend.
So the new ebook by me is called Mastering Hair Texture and Curl Patterns. And a lot of us melanated women, we are getting more in touch with our natural hair, learning what products work. So this book is a guide to help you identify your curl pattern. And also, I know a lot of times if you live with somebody or you have kids, you know what products might work on somebody else, might not work on you. You might ask somebody how you get your hair like that, and they say, "Oh, I use this gel," and then you say, "I tried that and it didn't work." So this book will help you identify your curl patterns, your texture patterns, what products are good for it, what type of styles are effective for it. So if you're interested, scan the QR code and get your copy instantly.
Yeah, right there. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and friend, you don't want to tell them how cheap it is because like they can really learn all this
Oh,
information for
you can,
just.
because you know I forgot.
It's only $10, y'all.
It's
Give it
only
up one
$10, y'all.
time. It's something the actual matter with you, friend. So yeah, scan that QR code right there and go ahead and
Mm-hmm.
get your copy tonight. All right, so the next thing up is absolutely something that's near and dear to the Melanin Mindset's heart, y'all. I need to change that, move that out the way. Boom, there it is, right there. Scan that
Mm-hmm.
QR code, y'all. We got a whole coloring book. Give it up one time for us, though. All right, so our coloring book is called Be Inspired. Y'all, if we can't do anything else in this world, the goal is to just be an inspiration to somebody. If
Yeah.
you've watched us for any length of time, you should definitely already know that. So you can go ahead and go over, either scan the QR code or hit up www.themelaninmindset.com and get your copy tonight. All right, so in friend, we're running out.
We are running out, so y'all better get your copies. These make great stocking stuffers and gifts.
Yes.
So,
So
especially like, for the little coworkers or, that young adult in your life you're trying to inspire, these make great gifts. Pair it with a little box of crayons. Yeah.
that's a whole fact. Or if that's not your alley, you don't like the color, you don't want to connect with your inner child, become an official MFer and get your T-shirt though. Give it up one time for one time. So you can go ahead and grab your Melanin Mindset tee the same way at www.themelaninmindset.com. So friend, this conversation has really, really been insightful because I've been out of the dating situation for a minute now.
You know,
Um,
I like these type of conversations because it's a reality. Like we look at all these posts and things on social media, but there are so many people out there putting on to get a reaction that it made me go, I really need to talk to somebody single, because is this really what people are out here expecting? And I really think the whole social media thing is just for show. Everybody just being showy, but what people actually desire is not any different than what it's always been.
So let's get these ladies back out here because I'm about to change up a little bit here. Not too dramatically because we have a set of questions we're already running down. But I do have a few things that I want to. Ooh, where's Ketty?
I don't know.
Mm. All right. Well, we're just gonna keep it moving,
Just
right?
keep it moving.
Keep it going. All right. So I do want to ask this one off, and then we're gonna dive back into our set of questions. So,
Mhm.
ladies, before we left, the question that was asked or the statement that was made had to do with what your first date expectations were, right? So, do you think, and this is just going to be strictly opinionated because you ladies seem to be pretty level-headed. Do you think that in a way, some of these guys are putting on to have more than what they actually have? So it's causing these ladies to think or expect more. I see Lajea's neck is about to break. Girl, go ahead and talk to me about it, honey. Go ahead,
Yes.
Lajea.
Yes. I do believe that. I believe that a lot. And maybe well, I'm gonna speak for the 20s because I'm in this group. Maybe it's just in the 20s, this 20 to 25. How many amazing things could have really happened? We were in a pandemic. It's fine. We're all struggling. I do feel like there are a lot of lies that are put out there. So then it causes a lot of confusion and delay when we go on these dates. Because I talked to you on Monday and you said you make six figures. And then on Tuesday, we couldn't even go to Wendy's. I can't even go through the drive through Auntie Kiki. I can't. So it's confusing. It's confusing. So yes, I do think that is a part of the issue.
Another thing I've heard men do too is they'll act like they either don't have the money and then see if the woman is going to pay and then say, oh, she's a real one if she offers to pay, but then you don't let her pay. That's just a red flag right then and there, because if you have to test a woman, quote unquote,
I mean, yeah, you letting us know that you play games.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Go ahead, friend.
No, I was wondering if anybody else had a response to that.
Oh.
Have you experienced with the guys putting on and
in the different age groups?
Yeah.
I'd say
I think my age group, they don't
because
much anymore.
I'm in my 30s. I wouldn't say they put on, I would say they scale back. Because I'm in my 30s, but I like older. So they'll scale back and kind of, I think they've been scarred with feeling what I've noticed, they kind of act like they don't have too much going on, and then when they see that you have good intentions, then they'll say, oh, I'm doing this, and you're like, okay, you got
so they're a
something going for them for yourself. Because people forget guys have feelings too, right? They have feelings too. They want to feel you. So you know, when you're kind of a little bit older and you've been there, done that, you want to see what a person is about too before you just lay it out there, because then you have somebody who's like, oh, well, he's saying he doing this and that, using your representative too. So, I mean, I see it as the opposite, where I'm thinking you a little regular, you might got a little going on for real, you know. And that's what I've experienced.
Come on, 40s.
No, I absolutely agree with that. The scale back. I don't think they come once you get to a certain age, for the most part, it's not acceptable to be putting on airs and stuff like that, because people know nowadays you're going to very quickly find out if, hey, you have all of this. So I've experienced that too, where they sit back and they wonder like, hey, if I work a 9 to 5, I don't want you to feel like you can just get everything because you got the store-bought booty or whatever. They sit back and then they
store-bought booty.
Yeah. So I agree with that. They are watching as well. The level-headed ones. You do
Yeah.
have some that's in our age groups that really want to still be in their 20s, but that's just not my experience because they act a certain way and you quickly just push them on to the side. So level-headed guys are, you know, going in through it, not bragging about what they got if they've been on a job 10 years or whatever. They seeing where your mind is at too. So that's been my experience.
Okay. So we
Mm.
do see a difference in the age of the men and kind of what they bring into the table or not.
Right.
Or lying about what they bring into the table in the 20
Right.
situation.
Mm. All right, Tawana, we saw that you were getting ready to say something too, so we want to let you get that out, and then Kia has a question.
Did she freeze on us?
She did. So go ahead with your question, friend.
Okay, so everybody here has had some level of dating experience. I think I heard somebody say they've been divorced. Um, is there anything from your past dating experiences that you feel like was a big lesson and that you either will or will not bring into this now current era in your
Mm.
I'm going to answer that. Yes. I've learned not to talk or tell who I'm with about my past because I feel like when you give a guy everything that you've went through, if they want to do it, they will not do it because that's what you've said. So I've learned not to first bring in baggage or judge someone based off of my past, but I also don't want to give them that ammunition to know, like, hey, she stuck with somebody who did A, B, and C to her. So maybe if I'm this way until I know she's in love with me, then I could. So that's something that I've learned to do,
life? Wow.
Mm.
even with like I just don't talk about the past that I went through. If you don't know it, you got to know me. I'm just not going to do that because I feel like, first of all, if you bring your past into the future, they're one not going to know if you're truly clear, and then that says a lot about your emotional state as well, because if you're holding on to baggage and that's all you can talk about in your new relationship, you're truly not healed. So that's something I've learned I will never do. I'm not talking about my past with. It's okay if there's a general question every gray moon or green moon.
Not heavy
But
too.
yes, I'm just not going to do that. That's something I won't do that I've
I'm about to
learned.
give it up for that one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, sometimes they weaponize
With
the
that
little bit
being
that they
said,
know.
if you don't mind, with that being said, we all do. Now, whether you discuss your baggage or not, that depends on the individual. I agree with Trinique. I'm not going to discuss my baggage, but we do have it. All right. So
Right.
one of the things that I'm going to have for a future spouse or future boyfriend is to be controlled. I will not be controlled. And I know that there are some men in my age group, and in any age group, really, since we're talking for 60s, that
Mm-hmm.
can be controlling because that's what they have done. You see, when you get people that are in my age group, they have had a lot of habits, if you will, that has lasted for so long, and habits can be hard to break. So if they come along in your life and they got a particular habit, and I would say controlling, since that's the one I'm speaking about, then that's what they might bring into the relationship because that's what they've been doing. I won't
Mm.
have it. I will not have it. And that is part of my baggage from the past when I had a husband that was controlling.
Mm.
I'm not having
Okay.
that in any relationship that I'm dealing with. So that's the baggage that we can bring. That's my baggage. I don't
Mm.
discuss it,
Mm-hmm.
but if the minute I see it, a red flag
Mm-hmm.
will go up and I will go out because I'm not having it. I'm just not
Oh
having it.
man, I gotta give it up for you too. Come on, that's a good one. That was a good
Yes,
one.
I ain't
that
having it.
is.
Oh
I
man,
pay my bills.
I'm giving it up too.
I pay my bills. My bills are paid.
I hate you
Okay.
so much. Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Whew.
Lajaya?
I learned thus far that I am not a trainer. I've never been a man before. and I can't raise a man. So I've learned that in certain situations, I can't teach somebody how to treat me. I can't teach somebody to do something that, I want to see in a relationship. And I've also learned that in that case, that doesn't mean that person is a bad person. They're just not the person for me.
Okay.
So that is what I have learned.
Girl, I gotta give it up for you too.
Right. That was a good one.
Yes, honey. Keyshawn, girl.
Keyshawn? Wait. Keyshawn, did Keyshawn answer that question too?
I'd say for me, what I've learned, you if you're dating or you want to be on that scene, you need to go into that healed, not validate the things about you that you don't like. When we I know one of the challenges for singles is a lot of people in relationships as is an end all be all, but there's beauty in singleness. Is you need to be whole and content with who you are as a single before into a relationship, not looking for that relationship to make that's
Fix
what
you and make you whole.
I've learned from the past, that you cannot rely on a relationship you. So that's my lesson learned.
And that's a message to everybody. That's gonna be an episode. That's a message to singles, married, dating. Like, don't look for somebody to fix you or fill in the gaps like the way you said it. What's flawed in you.
Correct.
What I always say, I want a man to compliment me, not complete me.
And a Bible.
Right.
All right, I got a little lighter question. I feel like we done got all super deep.
I like a good deep moment. I'm sorry.
Dating apps, yes or no? Are you on them? What is your experience? Are they good? Are they bad? I've heard some
I have personally never used a dating app.
No.
I have had a couple friends use POF, and based off of what their experience was with POF, I would run to the hills and never use it. I'm an old fashioned type person. I just want to meet somebody. I want to hear what your conversation is, and I don't know if you can do that through an app. I need to get a for real feeling on you. So I have never personally used one.
POF.
Plenty of fish.
Oh,
you know what that is?
Yeah, I know what it is, because I told you I had that story where my client was asking me all these questions. I said, girl, I don't know, but I sat up there and tried to figure it out with her.
Oh, wow.
I used the date when dating apps first came out. I used the dating app when it first came out years ago, and there was no serious connections, but I was getting to what you were saying, Tranika, when it comes to you need to talk to folks in person and see them eye to eye. The good part that I thought about the dating app is that everything was basically conversation at that point. So you get to know each other through conversation first before you meet. So I thought that was a good, but I didn't make any connections. I mean, I've met a few of them after speaking to them online, and it was no, bells didn't go off, stars didn't happen, and all that. But it was an experience. And the last time that I used a dating app and met with a gentleman, that one I was kind of glad that was over with. And the thing that's so ironic about that, because a year later, this guy calls me and he says, back when we was talking such and such a thing, he brought up something a year ago. And he said, that kind of bothered me. And my antenna went up, okay? And something told me, don't put no fuel on this fire. Just let him talk. And I apologize. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Because something told me that something wasn't right. A year later, what whatever it was that bothered you, you had to call me because it didn't sit with you right or whether something was not right. And
Right.
something
Yeah,
told me instantly,
that's weird.
don't put no fuel on this fire, baby. Let him say what he got to say, apologize to that man. This is over with. That's it. So that was the last time that I did online dating,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I don't totally knock it, but I don't know what the dating line, I don't know what they're doing now with it, but I was on it when it first came out.
Anybody
Ketty,
else?
Lajaya, any experience with dating apps?
Dating apps are terrifying. Um, I don't know. I've been on dating apps before. I can't say I've had any like resounding experiences. I would say that I do enjoy, having the conversation online before I'm just face to face with the person. I feel like as far as, social anxiety and things like that, it makes it a little easier. And I would say I feel like the most I've gotten out of dating apps, especially being young, is good practice talking to guys.
Mm.
And
Okay.
seeing how different people talk and things that I instantly will be like, if I ever hear somebody say this to me, I'm done. I've gotten a lot of experience with that. So I would say, I mean, in that case, you get to talk to more people than you would just walking down the street. So you get to meet a lot of different people that way. But it has it been great in terms of helping me date? Not at all.
Okay. Ketty.
Because you can meet a serial killer in a bar.
Mm-hmm.
You
You know
can
what I
meet
mean?
them on an app or in a bar. Absolutely.
Or in a bar. It
Where?
can be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, or a Target.
Right.
Ooh, Ketty, have
I
you used
was
any
on
dating apps?
Bumble a while back. I made like one good friend out of it. That's about it. But no,
No,
not
they're
really.
not good.
No, nothing really good. Nothing that's gonna be like, oh my god, yeah. No, I'm good.
So I've heard that like the dating apps is just basically you trying to find somebody to smash. Is that true?
That's what it wound up turning
Is it
into.
a smash or pass?
It
Is
But
that
is.
now it's just all about smashing and selling ass.
Mm.
It definitely is.
yo, listen, hold up now. There's this thing called instant dating. Have any of you all been impacted by instant dating? No. Okay. So it's a thing called instant dating. Basically, it's a guy thing where they set up a date with a girl. They set the date like immediately. So I might start talking to you today, and then I'm gonna send you a text and be like, meet me at Starbucks tomorrow. And then when you come into Starbucks, if I don't think you are fly, like if you're a pass, not a smash, I'm gonna act like you do not exist. So these guys are being, it's like they're licensed to be complete jerks. So if a girl walks up to them, they're like, what are you doing? You didn't make the cut. Like this was an instant date. You're not supposed to talk to me if I don't acknowledge you. So
Yeah.
instant dating is a thing.
Oh
So
wow.
heads up to
That's
you
for
singles.
boys. That's for boys because
That is controlling.
they are going
That
to
is
attract
controlling.
they're going to attract the kind of women they're not looking for because a lot of these guys are like, oh yeah, I want a woman that is old school, that's da 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 da, but they don't realize the old school, their mamas was beating their dad over the head when he was acting up and stuff like that. So you want a traditional woman, you want her to act traditional, but you don't know your grandma was getting, she was getting it until she decided, I ain't gonna get it no more, and he done been gotten. So
And I do think that's a lot of what I think a lot of younger people particularly have this image of like, where's the traditional woman? Where's the traditional wife? Like, no, the traditional wife didn't let you see what was going on behind play.
yeah,
Back in the
Right.
day, you didn't see your grandparents fight. You didn't see your parents argue. You didn't
Right.
see
Absolutely.
when mama had got tired of daddy and probably tried to kill him in the bed, put the pillow over his head, and then decided she wanted to go to heaven and didn't do it. Like y'all miss those things. So you have this not a full picture. It's like you looking
Right.
at only part of the picture of what you want, and then when it don't go the way you thought it was supposed to go.
and I would think too with that instant dating, how are you really giving yourself a time to get to know that person? If you're just going
They're
based off
not
the
trying
It's
to.
physical,
just physical, yeah.
but
I
then
think
there's gonna be the
it's
same ones
swipe
complaining
left
that
in
they
real
can't find
life.
good women.
Right.
Facts. Whole facts.
Mm-hmm.
So, friend, I'm up here looking at the time, and I'm like, oh man, we don't want to belabor the time. That's what the good preachers would say.
Yeah.
So on our way out, I want to go. If we can go in order of the age group, so we'll start with Lajea, then we'll hit Ketty, Kishonda, Trinika, and then Tawana on our way out here. So the final question for you all is relationship advice and inspirations or role models. So, do you have any advice for someone seeking out a relationship as an active single yourself, or any role models for your current, situationships or situations? So, we'll start with Lajea and work our way in the order. I think I said them. There we go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Relationship advice or like dating advice for people in the 20s. I guess I would say trust your gut feeling and trust your red flags. Or when you're dating someone and you're feeling like, I didn't really like that, you're always not gonna like it. It's gonna keep bothering you. So trust that feeling in the beginning. Like I said before, like you can't train someone. I feel like that is my best advice is when you see something, instead of like, oh, maybe I could fix this out of this person or something, just trust it and go with that gut feeling. What was the other question? I forgot.
Any relationship role models?
Relationship role models. Oh my gosh, my mom and my dad, they're so cute. They're also a mess, but like they always work through it. So it's so cute.
I feel like you put
Um,
my business out in the street.
no, like I'm just saying, like they're just like a real relationship. And I love seeing that. Like that's what I feel like that's what my goal is in a relationship is like no matter what, it's me and you through and through. And yeah, I think those are my relationship role models for sure.
Love
Which
it.
makes it real hard dating. It really does. It makes it very difficult. If they fought a little bit more, it might be easier for me to date. But
Go ahead, Ketty.
For me, relationship advice would be ask God for guidance. And know exactly what you want, because a lot of times we go based off what we want. But if you're asking God, Lord, guide me towards the right man or the right woman, and you open that door and you allow Him to, He definitely will guide you. I've gotten to the point where I said, Lord, hide me.
Mm-hmm.
Hide me until you see that I am ready and that my partner is ready, and may you help us to come together when you are ready. So that's my piece of advice. But then also to my role model is my older sister and her husband. They are really amazing. They may fight, they may argue, but they remind me of old school with a little bit of new school, but they still have those traditional values. I like to tell people, look, my
Mm-hmm.
daddy's alive, so I know how a man should act, and I know how a woman should act, and how they should treat each other. So
Yeah.
I go based off those.
Yeah.
Give it up for you too, girl. All right, Kishonda, relationship advice and role models, girl.
The world has just gotten so superficial in a sense, and I think the best thing we can do is really just get back to the basics and what as children treat people the way you want to be treated, into consideration
Mm-hmm.
of how your decision, the way you move, and the way you consider people, and you vet people on how it would feel if put under a microscope and all this
Come on
superficial
now,
stuff. You
Kishonda.
kind of just think better. For me as a woman, I'm thinking about my nephews, and how I want a young lady to treat them, my son. I'm gonna give you that same respect, same courtesy. And if we just get back to the basic stuff on and all the materialistic aspects of it, and
Mm-hmm.
just treat each other right, I think that we would just fare better, you know.
Mm,
And that's just it. Get back to loving each other first. Is just people partnership, and I think we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Goals are definitely my mom and dad. 40 years together, married 38, and they have just built a beautiful life, being simple, traditional people, not doing nothing special, but just being regular and wholesome, nice. Just sweet can be being regular. We don't have to do all that
Mm-hmm.
extra. So that's my advice. Those are my roles.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Trinika.
My advice would be to give yourself time. Don't let anyone, especially if you're younger and they feel like you should be married or in a relationship by a certain age, do this. Give yourself the time to truly know some person. Don't fall in love overnight with the ideal of being in a relationship because everyone around you has a relationship, but again, you've not seen the struggle they've had to be in that relationship. You only see the initial pretty pictures, holiday pictures. So give yourself time. Honestly, as far as a role model, I do not have, and that's sad, but I'm being truthful. I don't have a positive role model. I don't know. And I know some married folks, I'm not around them to see, but like my older folks in my family, man, please. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I
She
mean,
said,
I
I don't
just
want no
don't have.
parts of that.
Right, right. And that's why, and to be truthful, I honestly don't have the happily ever after. And people say, "Oh, you shouldn't say that." And I was like, "Well, God, I have to give them to me because I don't see that in my. Because I don't necessarily see happy marriages around me, so I don't have a role model for that. So that's not probably something I aspire to be a happy wife. But if it comes, I'll invite all of y'all. I promise you.
Listen,
And we're gonna be
Trinika,
there.
absolutely. And don't feel a type of way because the relationship I have with myself and my husband, it's not modeled after anybody. What we have
Yeah.
is ours. So I don't have
Right.
anybody who I build my marriage based off of. Now, my parents, they Gucci, they doing good, they in love, and they corny over there. But between me and my husband, it looks very different than
Mm-hmm.
everybody else, but it is for us and it works for us. So don't ever feel any type of way about not having a relationship role model, honey, because you don't need one. Okay.
Mm-hmm. You
So
make your own.
you
You
find
make
you
your
create,
own image of what you want it to look like.
yes, paint your own
Right.
picture and be who you
Mm-hmm.
gonna be, honey. And last but not least, good old Furby. I'm sorry, I've been holding that in the whole episode.
I know you have. Well, I like a gentleman to first must love God and love his mother. And that doesn't mean be a mama's boy, but the mother is the first woman that he has ever come in contact with.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you can learn a lot about a guy by how he treats his mother.
Mm.
And that will somehow show you how he'll treat you. Okay.
Mm.
People are jailed, red flags and, follow
Mhm.
your gut.
Agreed.
And don't be afraid that when that red flag pop up that you need to dip, blaze, and flex up out of there. Don't be afraid of that. Because a lot of people are afraid of being by themselves. And I don't see anything wrong. There was I forgot who said it, but she said, if you're afraid of being by yourself, then who do you think want to be with you? And you don't want to even be
Mm.
by yourself. Okay. So I thought that was a good one. And also too, be friends first. Create a
Mm-hmm.
friendship, because if you don't create that friendship, when the sex died down and this died down and this is kind of low, you know what I mean? If you don't have a friendship, there's nothing to hold on to, because we all get old. We all, the men all fall to the south, and a whole bit, and there's nothing to hold on to. So be
Gravity
friends.
takes over.
Gravity takes over, whether it's us or the guys. If you got a
Funny.
friendship, you can still have that bond. You can
Yeah.
still have that bond. So I say you can be alone, but you don't have. Doesn't mean that you're lonely. Just
Amen.
because you're alone, don't mean that you're lonely. And you
That's
can
right.
be in a crowd of folks, and you can be lonely.
Mm-hmm.
You can be in a
I'm gonna clap for
relationship
that.
and marriage,
That's
and
right.
you're lonely.
Yes.
Okay,
Listen, I
Right.
so
had to get it. I was letting her
don't,
finish.
don't
Right.
don't be afraid to be by yourself. But it's nice to have a gentleman that will compliment you,
Okay.
not complete you. You understand? So we all need to come to the table at 100%, and it's not going to always be 100% from each one in a relationship. 1 week or 1 month, somebody might be 60%, the other one might be 40, then it might
Mm-hmm.
flip around, and then it might be 30% from the other side. It's not going to always be 50-50, and it's not going to always be 100-100.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to come whole together, and not, we have to be able
Right.
to be independent to come together. to come together. We have to be
Right.
independent to come together
Yes.
because I don't want a man to depend on me, and I don't want to depend on a man. I
Right.
really don't. But if we can come together and make something out of that, I think it's a beautiful thing. My grandparents were my role model, with the exception of one thing: my grandmother always cooked. That's the only thing I might have a problem with, because I don't need, when I come home from work, I don't need a man to ask me what's for you got there before I do. I should be in the pots and pans cleaning the kitchen when I come in the door. You understand?
Mhm.
Or if you
telling
hungry,
me where we going to eat.
oh right, you
Oh,
understand what I'm saying?
now wait, is
You know,
Applebee's
so
okay
that
or
was the only
Cheesecake
thing.
Factory?
That was the only thing. My grandfather was sitting, he just wait for his meal. He was, but everything else was beautiful. Everything else, but she was the one that cooked, and he sat and he wait for her to cook that meal. And with me, if you ask me what we having for lunch or dinner, it's gonna be air pudding or blow away sandwiches, not unless you cooking something too. That's the only thing I have. But other than that, I thought their marriage was awesome. I thought their marriage was awesome, and that's my role model.
All right, so air
That's
pudding
my
and
role
blow
model.
away sandwiches. I need you to give me those recipes for my husband from time to time.
Okay.
I need to know how to make air pudding and blow away sandwiches.
Mhm.
All right, so friend, we're gonna go ahead and go ahead and put a bow on this bad boy. We do want to give them
Right.
space. If we have any entrepreneurs in our space today, we do want to give you all an opportunity, about 30 seconds or so, to tell our viewers and promote yourself, because we want to use our platform to grow Black businesses and just the Black space as a whole. So I guess we'll start here in the middle and work our way in that same order, and then we're gonna sign off, friend.
And even
Go
if
ahead.
you don't have a business, just tell the people who you are and how they connect with you.
Right,
How
that
they can
part,
connect with you.
and it'll all be linked below.
Mm-hmm. So, Lejay, you're first.
I'm first. Thank you for having me tonight, ladies.
We are so
It's a
happy.
great night. You can find me on social media. I'm on Instagram. What is my Instagram handle? _J Monet. That's JMONE. And I don't know. Do I have any businesses to plug? I work with the beautiful Kia Blaine at KB Hair Design. So if you want some braids, you can get some braids for me there. But yeah, thank you for having me. I had a great time.
Oh, we were so happy to have you, girl. Go ahead, Ketty.
Hello, hello. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I had an awesome time on here, guys. So thanks for having me. One, yes, please do go follow Miss Kia Blaine. Don't forget Miss Kia Blaine, because she do hair. She do a good job. And I am a real estate agent. My what's my Instagram name again, Miss Blaine?
Girl, that's a doggone shame because I don't even know.
Oh, see, you right. You right. Actually, hold on. It's Ketie, Ketie _real estate, something like
Yeah,
that.
something
Fine,
like that.
under there. I am a real estate agent who works here in Florida. But if you're looking to buy, sell, move, invest, I can help you in any state. That's it.
Love it. Keishonda, go ahead, girl. Oh wait, I didn't give an applause. Now, Keishonda, go ahead, girl.
Um,
Did she freeze on us?
all right.
It's that
Thank you, ladies,
delay.
for
You got
having me.
that
This is
lag.
a lot of fun. Oh, can you all hear me?
You're good. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, y'all. So you can follow me on Facebook, Monique. I do also a Kari J Growth Oil. That is my Facebook and Instagram for my business. And I am also on Instagram as Miss Shonda Monique. Thank y'all for having me. This was fun. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Go ahead, Trinika.
All right. Thank you guys for having me as well. I had a really, really great time. Not really on social media. I do have Facebook, but I check it every 2 months. So I won't even lie to y'all. I am not a social media person at all. That is it.
We are so glad you came. You still get your applause, girl.
Mhm.
And last but not least, tell them about yourself, Tawana.
Yeah, this old gal here is on social media, but I'm only going to give you one social media one, and that's official TD Furbush. That's on Instagram, official TD Furbush. at the Lay Salon in Cooper City, 2525 Embassy Drive, Suite 12. And I also teach cosmetology at Sheridan Technical College.
Nice.
That's it.
Oh,
Well, thank y'all again so much for coming. We absolutely appreciate you all participating in today's episode. We thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. And we also thank you even more for helping to promote this episode because, yes, without y'all's support and letting y'all friends know y'all was about to be here, then they wouldn't have been here too. So I'm going to go ahead and send the ladies on off. I'm gonna go ahead and send the ladies on off again. Thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. So, Fred, with that being said, girl,
That
tonight
was
was a night,
great. I love
girl.
that.
Yes, it was an amazing
It made
episode.
me feel hopeful for the future of relationships because social media had me thinking, child, ain't nobody gonna be in a relationship.
Girl, they about to be single for the rest of their life, dealing with the stuff
But
that's
no,
going on.
people are still looking for connection and meaningful relationships.
Yes, I definitely was inspired to see some of the dynamic differences between hearing the 20s speak and the
Yeah.
60s speak.
Yeah.
There is a
All in
gap,
between.
honey.
Yeah.
There is a difference for sure. So it was exciting for me in that aspect. So y'all make sure you're plugged in wherever the Melanin Mindset is streaming, and you too can be part of the MFing squad if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So friend, you got anything else for the people before we sign off?
Thanks for tuning in, Mindset Family. Until next time, embrace the melanin, embrace success, and stay blessed.
Peace.